class or a subject, right? In a serial way. Okay, so first AA server. So before going to AA server, we are having an AA server, that is AA server PowerEdge Dell X750 XA processor in our institution, right? So many are having many want to know what are the features of this server, right? Before going to that, so first one, the advantages of this server is scalable. That means we can add many more processors to this AA server, and also second one is, what is a server? So actually we have client and server model. Client and server model. So both client and server are based on a set of instructions or programming instructions through a software. So for example, when we go to a hotel, right? So here there is a client, and if we order, so two clients are there. So if you order food 1, food 2, this food 1 and food 2, both orders should be taken by the server, and this is in a total hotel environment. So here the client always requests the server, and server responds to the client. So this is a process which is happening in your computer system or program system. So both client software is there and server software is there, right? So here this client and server model is now connected to a network. So in a network means here we have many users. Users means we, and there will be separate. For example, in your house there are two systems. So we the users should interface with the system. So this is called node 1 and this is called node 2. Right? So if this type of networking system is there, it is called LAN, that is called local area network. Right? So always the client and server model, client always requests, server always responds. Okay? So for example, node is a system. This is system 1, this is system 2. So we are the users, and we are following the client and model system to the user to the nodes. So this is called local area network. For example, this is a room. In this room there are 8 computers, and here the users will interface with the nodes. Right? Similarly, another type of networking model, it is called WAN system, that is wide area network. Because we are going to the server, because here A server is there, so we are now completely learning the server architecture. So here many nodes are there, and these nodes are interconnected across a city. For example, these are several nodes. This is in a building, this is in a building, this is in a building. For example, this is happening in a room, this is happening in a city. What here it is happening? City. So all the users are connected by a different setup of nodes, and this forms a wide area network in a city. Similarly, completely the network system is connected across a globe. That is, this is in South Africa, this is North America, this is Asia, like that. Several continents are connected. This is called MAN network. That is metropolitan area networks, right? So now you know now the client and server architecture, how the users you are interfacing with client and server. Now what is actually happening in why we have to go for this coding actually? For example, this is the user and this user has to interface with the system. That is right, this user has to interface with the system, but he can't directly interface with the system, right? So this is the system, because system does not understand our language. So here for example, we know some English, Tamil, like this, some languages are there. So but if you communicate with these languages, it is impossible for the system to understand. So what we are doing, so following this client and server model architecture, we are going to the coding, sir, right? So through the coding, we have now you are learning IP, that is introduction to programming, that is C, C++, Java, Python, right? So you can communicate to the system with the help of some coding, that is in different programming languages. Different programming languages. But these languages has to be written in some particular code, right? So for example, this is not the actual syntax. Now I will show you how the syntax is there. So now C is equal to, we are defining two variables, A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, C is equal to A plus B, some print C like that. Just, this is not a format of the C language. I will show what is the format, but just I have written a body of the program. So this is the code you are writing. Now this code you have to give, and this is understand this through coding we are we have compiled the program and we have done this, and now we are giving for the compiler to understand this one, to understand. So what this compiler does, it translates the code that was given here, because this is high level language. What is this called? High level language. Now this high level language is to be converted to a low level language. Okay, so this compiler does, and now it converts the form of binary, that is 0001, like that, some codes, which is understood by what? System. It is understood by system. So this is the process going on here, right? So to make the system understand what are the instructions that we are giving through coding, so only all the codes, whatever, how many programming languages are there, that any we will write a code, we will, the compiler, we will convert this one into some binary code language, and we are giving the system to understand. That means our language is now understood by this one, because this is our language, this is can't be understood by the system, but the coding language can be understood when it is converted by the compiler to the system, right? Now, for example, right, if you are taking swapping of two numbers, program you are writing in C language using, I will write very simple, using temporary variable or third variable I am asking. So third variable or temporary variable. Okay. So now I am writing this with the help of C language. You can write in Java. Now you understand. So always keep in mind this block diagram. So because everyone are doubt why we are writing coding. Now did you understand from where it started? Right? Because the part comes, we are having a server in guide. Right? What a server does, it has a lot of functions. It is scalable with additional processes. It has full stack development capability, that is front end and back end. So front end means what we can see, right? That is hardware and software, right? And web pages, HTML, whatever it like that. And backend means data operations, processing, storage, everything will be done in backend. So both combination it is called a full stack development. So when you go to the software industry, you should become a full stack developer. What should you become? Full stack developer. Now you understand the motto of why you are studying engineering. So you should learn all the programming languages. You should say, sir, I am a front-end developer. That is my designation. I am a back-end developer or I am a full stack developer. So to know that what you are doing right, you have to understand what client and server is the basic of computer science actually. So now you understand what is client, what is server. I have compared with some hotel, right? Always client request, server response, like how in a hotel, right? So this is done via a network. That network combinations are LAN, MAN and WAN combinations are there. Now, why we have to go for coding in a while we are processing a networking system? That is, I have come to a user, we know these languages, but this cannot be understood by the system. So we have to do coding. That coding, we have to write a program. It may be in Java, it may be in Python. If you know this block diagram, now you are very happy. Any programming language, okay? This is the motto of learning the programming languages. Why I am learning? Because this system does not understand the language of what we are communicating. So now the compiler, it converts into some binary code, and now it is understand. So any code you are given, it should be converted into this and it should understand. So now, for example, I am writing a code because here code has come. Now I have to write the code. How to write a code? For example, in C language, hash include sto.h, right? So standard header files you are including. That means previously you are having two type of applications. Those are called standalone applications and web applications. So these are called standalone applications and web applications. So these standalone applications are always some instruction set should be given to the computer. But here they need not give to the computer this one. For example, here browsers. Browsing is one of the good example, right? So what are the types of browsers you are having? Chrome you are having, then MOZO, like that, right? And here another one also plays a role. It is called an operating system. So to install it in a particular system, you should have different types of OS, right? So what are the types of OS you are having? If in a phone, you are installing Android. Otherwise, you are having Windows. Then you are having Ubuntu. What is that one? So types of operating system. Because these give a set of instructions to a particular system. So here you are having Ubuntu, then Android, then Windows, Linux. Okay. So in these standard applications, these should all the instruction set and all the commands should be installed. And example is browsers. But in web application, they need not to be installed, right? So this example is, so they are running to the help of apps. Those are called web applications. Gmail and Facebook, right? So here we are having two types of functions. Those are called predefined functions, built-in functions. Some functions are already predefined, some are built-in functions. For example, printf, scanf, like that, right? So here, what we have to do while we are writing a coding program, we have to make sure that all these built-in, all these predefined functions or built-in functions are read by the header files. With the help of header files, they have to include in the program. Otherwise, we cannot use printf and scan. First we have to include all those things. So that is called hash include. Right? Now another one is what? We have to, if you want to take the integer values, that means a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. So int, and we have to define all these in a main function. What you have to do? We have to define in a main function. Right? So this is the body language of the C program. Now what you do? We have to, since I want to take a swapping of two numbers, so a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20. So I have to initialize this variable. So and I already told swapping of two numbers using third variable and temporary variable. So I int a, b, and I will use another temporary variable, that is called the third variable. So you can write a program with the help of a third variable or without a third variable also. Right? So now what you have to do? We have to print those values, we have to read those values. Then we will go to the body line of the program also. So for printing the values, printf. Okay. Now what you have to do? You have to enter these values, right? Slash for the next line. Enter the values a, b. Right? Next, scanf. So now in scanf, for each variable, there are format specifiers. What is known as format specifiers or format strings. So here they are using a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20. So the integers, for that one we use the format specifiers for percentage c. Right? So percentage, so two variables are taking, so percentage b, and we have we have to store these two variables with the address of the variables, that is our memory. So right. So now we have finished this one. Now we have to go for the swapping of the program. So if you go by the step-by-step procedure, it will be very easy to you. Why we are writing step-by-step line. So this is a format specifier. Similarly, we are having float, okay, percentage of, right, for decimal points and all, and characters, right, for a, b, like that we are having percentage c. So there are formats. Still there are many format specifiers. So and we are allocating a memory location and address of the variable. So this is now we have to swap that one. So before that again, so printf, we are printing this one, we have to swap the variables. So slash n swap values a comma b, swap the values a comma b, and so how we have to swap? A is equal to percentage d, b is equal to percentage d, and these are the values coming from a and b, right? So a is equal to percentage d, b is equal to percentage a. We have given the format specifier, this is the principal value same. Before swapping, this is before swapping, we have print the values. Now you have to take a temporary variable, and for example you have assigned the value a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. So third variable I am using this temporary variable is equal to a. Now these values are assigned to what? Temporary. Now second one, a is equal to b. So now the a value is written in temperature 10 and a is equal to b means what? Now what's the value? B, 1. Right? Now what is the other value? Now what is b? Temperature. So b is equal to, so we have now swap the values, right? Now again we have to print the slash after swapping. A is equal to percentage b is equal to percentage So this is the body language of the program. This is the logic. This is the logic. Now the same thing, what can we do without using a temporary variable? Without using temporary variable, how can you write a program now? Don't use this variable now. Don't use this variable. So what you have to do here? How can we change the logic here? Now swapping the two numbers without using temporary variable. So the same thing, we just have to change the logic here. What we have to do now? A is equal to B. A plus B. Right? Now B is equal to A minus B. Next step. A is equal to A minus B. So A is equal to A plus B means 20 plus 10, 30. B is equal to A minus B. Then A is equal to A minus B. So B is equal to 10 we got. Now what is stored in A? This one 13 minus 10. How much? 20. The values are such. Okay. So we can test the logic like this. Now the same thing when we go for a Python language, we can directly use the swap. So in Python we don't use all these braces and all, we don't use, right? So print command we use print, the same thing. And here the change will be what? So this is swap syntax. A comma B is equal to B comma B. So B values are assigned to A, A values are assigned to B. In Python just simple change. So in compared to C language, Python is very easy to write. This is the swap syntax. Rest of the thing is same. So like that we have to compare. Now actually in a net, so now you know how to write a code, right? But this is all operating through a network, right? In a client server model. So in network, what is happening? So it is called OSL layer model. What it is called as OSL, Open System Interconnection. So we give clarity వచ్చింది కదా, ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇందులో ఎలా అర్థమైంది కదా, ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తే అర్థం చేసుకుంటుంది. So ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ Python అయినా Java అయినా, Java is having set of commands. C language will have more number of lines. Python is very easy. So we are using swap rule directly. Swap syntax very easy. So open system interconnection. So all these complete instruction set of programming we are done with help of 7 layers. How many layers are there? 7 layers. So open system interconnection. So in this one, this is the application layer. This is presentation layer. So application layer means where all your applications like email, Gmail, Facebook, everything, application layer performs a task. Next one is giving to presentation. So this is the sender, client. One is the client, one is the server again. Once again. So this is the sender, this is the receiver. So if you remember all these architectures, you can happily learn in programming language while you are reading this programming language. So this is your application. This is the receiver side. So presentation layer, next session layer, next network layer. So this is congestion, network layer, data link layer, last one is physical. What is this called? Physical. here the language is understand by it is in binary code in the form of bits, zeros and ones. Now this is taken care by physical layer. What is taken? So whatever the instruction said, the compiler converting from this code to this is taken care by which layer? Physical layer. That is so from the sender to the receiver side again the same follows. This is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again 1 left reverse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So each layer 4, 3, so each layer has